It's dusk. I guess it's that gray time of the day where the evening is falling. It's the most peaceful hour of the day for sure. So, Robin Dale Height, the producer, the director, and associate of Larry Sonnenblatt, I think he did the Men in Black. So, I guess we're connected to the bigwigs in Hollywood. And the Men in Black, you know what they're about. You saw the Men in Black, right? Okay. So, it's very interesting. They have a gangster movie going this year here in Colombia. These are B movies. This is like Larry is helping Robin out. Robin is an up and coming young director. He's getting his I guess his experience doing these vampire movies and shit in Bogota. So he gets financed for this, and he has to scrounge and find like actors that are willing to act for no money. So that's exactly what he did for the movie that I was in, Los Cuentos de las Cruces, Tales from the Cruces, from the Crosses. So it was kind of a gangster movie, I guess, a bit. But this one's supposed to be real gangster. And Larry said that, to give me whatever part, the best part or whatever. I told Robin that, set me up with some acting classes and get me into that scene. I'm doing the video stuff with the YouTube. He's really loving that shit. So he's going to be helping me out with the editing and all that and helping me get that a little bit more under control. And I mentioned to him that I have like an expat American friend who would love to be an extra in his movie. He looks the part of army or mercenary or whatever. We can, put him up into whatever role. So I got that going. Because that'd be a lot of fun, wouldn't it? It would. I know you'd enjoy it. It's not really, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. You're not going to have to, sweat like a bunch of memorizing a lot of scripted stuff. You'll be kind of like an extra, but you'll be a classy extra in a gangster movie. So I think that's, I don't want to get your hopes too much up because I'm not the one. But he did say, when I told him, look, I said, hey, welcome. I just said, oh, okay. So that made me understand that we show up and, you got a part in that movie. Now, I told him last time, this is all fun and games, sure, but like the next movie, I need a little bit, like some monetary incentive so my wife will respect me a little bit more because she's not going to respect, because my wife took acting lessons and she was in a couple of episodes of a telenovela. So I can't bullshit her about this stuff, right? She knows more about it than me. I mean, my wife knows more about acting than I do. And yet, I know this director, and he connected man, I remember that kind of triggers something in my mind because when I went to Nepal on the second trip, I got all the goodwill and good wishes and some supplies from the owner of Agua Dulce Ranch up in north of LA. That's where they used to film. It's not like the Spalding Ranch where the Charles Manson. It's more towards LA, but it's got like the big rocks in the desert kind of southwest desert scene there. So they would film like cowboy movies and stuff. And Daniel Braven, that's his name. Daniel Braven was a Hollywood producer, and he had this big property there filled with like trailers and RVs, and like there were little apartments. I stayed there in the most beautiful, plush RV, like one room with everything in it. You know how RVs are, but it's just like for me. It was great, man. It was like all the psychedelia and everything. It was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. A few days before I left for my trip to Nepal, they gave me a water filter, and they kind of sent me on their way, and I have a picture of me with him. He looks like he's from another planet, man. He's got the bald with the long hair, totally white. His eyes, he looks like he's from another planet, dude. Daniel Braven, Jew. He's a Jewish. Like, he's a Messianic Jew, though. That's the beautiful thing, man. We related on so many levels with Daniel, man. What a lovely person. He sits down on his piano, and the guy starts harmonizing, like, the sound from another planet. It's like he was praising God the whole time. He's praising God. I've met some pretty interesting people. I think I'm interesting, but I've met some pretty crazy Some interesting motherfuckers, man. Anyways, Daniel, why did I go off on that tack? I can't remember why I started talking about that. Oh, the producer in the Hollywood. Yeah, so I'm kind of like, I told Robin yesterday, I feel a sense of destiny with the movies, for sure. Like, there is something in me that's telling me God wants me, or in a part, like, he wants me acting. And so that's going to be fun. I'm trying to do that right now with the YouTube and talking to you. My buddy Vince. How cool, man. You know what the beautiful thing is? To be able to conceive all these things and like make them real. That's the magic of it. I mean, we can come up with a lot of crazy shit for sure. But to make it, okay, there has to be a plausibility. Like, everybody has a plausible plot line somewhere in their lives that they can actually start constructing some, a greatness. Although, I heard a saying the other day, if you ain't got talent, don't even try to be great. Now, that's kind of stifling. So who knows who has talent or not? Man, there's some talented people for sure. One of the first kids I started to train at the hard body, I call him Rembrandt. He's 17-year-old kid. I've never seen such a gifted, talented drawer, like painter in my life. And I come from a family of very talented painters. My sister paints, my mother paints. I can't even draw a stick person. I got other talents, but I can't draw a stick man. I can barely draw anything. Like my daughter, Alejandra, she's an artist. She draws. I forgot. She just made a Hobbit scene with the portal and the Shire and the whole thing. Just blew my mind. Anyways, this kid, he does pencil. And he has this big magnifying glass. I mean, he does detail without it, okay? He does perfect detail without this magnifying glass. And I guess somebody taught him this. He grabs the magnifying glass. The image, like the little tiny corner, magnifies out to here, and he grabs a pencil, and he starts shading the shit. You look at it from a distance, the thing looks like a photograph. The precision, the detail, it's like microscopic. He took a microscope and started detailing shit, man. It blew my fucking mind, because I came to realize that in the future, I mean, these are all techniques and art, man. I love art so much. Like, I remember one time I had an LSD trip where I actually saw art, that image that I saw, that I conceived in my mind. I think people would bid hundreds of millions of dollars for that if I could put it in a like, here, look at this, what I'm looking at. It was art, man. Hard to describe, but there's things that are conjured in a way that just have another worldly beauty, a supernatural beauty to them. That's what it is. It's supernatural. There's no way to contrive or construct or conceive with the human mind that type of sublimity, the sublime language of it, where it brings something beyond and above and way more deeper than what you're actually seeing. It's transmitting something that's absolutely paranormal on the scope of aesthetic beauty, which is what I'm saying. I mean, there's levels to that shit. And like I've seen some of this stuff. I've seen it. Like I said, I mean, those if I could do a screenshot of my mind and put it like, look, who's bidding on that? I know if I had the money, I would, because from that I would extrapolate all the other things that I saw. Anyways, getting ahead of myself. The art. Why am I talking about art? I must be really tired. And it shows in my face, man. I'm looking at myself here. I got the dark eyes. Losing more hair. That's fine. Destined to be bald. As long as my face got hair on it. Jesus, I know one hair on your head will perish. Where's your face? I think it's on the head area, right? Somewhere up there. Anyways, let's see how long I can get my stash going. Gotta look the part down there in Vichada. So I'll have my sombrero and my long mustache and just playing the part. That's all it is, just playing the part. Anyways, ramble on, bro.